Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host for tonight's podcast, and this is the podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. Look, we have an amazing episode lined up just for you. But before we get started, I want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms, including our YouTube channel, which is DoctorBTV. That's DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV. That's our YouTube channel, and also our clinic information on Instagram and Facebook pages alike. Make sure to share, tag, like, follow, all that good stuff. Make sure to subscribe, especially on YouTube, to help support this amazing program. Now, before we get started, I want to let you know who I've got backstage, Miss Sashette McPherson. She is the founder and thought leader, Power Moves Global. What is Power Moves Global? Well, we're going to talk all about that tonight. She's a financial economist, a strategist, creator of the Financial Identity Reconstruction Framework. Again, that is the Financial Identity Reconstruction Framework. She states that her work sits at the intersection of behavioral finance, psychology, identity, and strategic wealth building. Her areas of expertise: financial identity reconstruction is a framework that she developed to explain how people's financial outcomes are driven less by income or intelligence and more by identity, belief systems, emotional conditioning, and behavioral patterns formed through life experiences. Your financial identity determines how you earn, spend, save, tolerate risk, and set boundaries with money, often unconsciously. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want you to stand and cheer and welcome the one, the only, the incomparable, Miss Sashette McPherson. Give it to her.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good evening. How are you feeling?
I am good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. It is another day, another opportunity to be in the land of the living. And I'm just glad to be vertical. How about you?
Me too. Yes.
We are so glad to have you. Everybody always tells me, they say, man, that sounded so good. I was wondering who you were even talking about. Man, is that me? That sounded good.
I agree.
So, yeah, tell us all about yourself and tell us about this Power Moves Global. I mean, I'm interested to hear about this.
Well, let me start by introducing myself again. My name is Sashette McPherson. I'm born in Jamaica, and I came to the US to do my master's, actually. And in 2023, I did my master's in financial economics. And after pursuing my master's, I started working as a financial analyst. I worked for the university, Bowling Green State University. And, after after doing my master's and working, I, ventured into creating Power Moves Global. Power Moves Global is a identity company, and what we actually do is we help people rebuilding their identity as it relates to money, and how they perceive how they perceive and go about making their financial decisions, basically.
So you went into the university. So you went there to finish your master, or were you working there at this university?
Well, both actually. So I did my master's in 2023 in financial economics, and after graduating, they wanted me back, so I stayed here and been a financial analyst since. Yes.
That is amazing. Now tell us, let's go back to being in Jamaica, because look, I went to med school in the Cayman Islands, and and also being a musician, which was one of my hobbies, and at some points in life, it's been a job, and it's brought me some dividends. But when I was playing piano, playing keyboards for this choir, we had to do a concert over in. We flew into Kingston, and we had to do a concert in Mandeville. At is that where Huey is, or
No, actually, Yui is located in Kingston.
I
Yeah.
think okay. So then this was no NCU, Northern Caribbean University.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
Mhm.
But you said it's in Montego Bay, right?
That's in Mandeville.
Oh, Mandeville. Why did I mix
Yeah,
that up? Okay. All right.
Mandeville. Yeah. So yeah, they say it's always very cool down there, but I don't know what happened when we were there because it was hot. It was hot when we were there.
Hey, well, that is Jamaica. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, your kind of cool is different from Jamaican cool,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your cool is probably in the 70s. In Jamaica, it's like high 80s. Yeah, so
Yes, indeed. We hello to everyone in Instagram land. I'm kind of going back and forth. So if you see me looking, these two platforms don't really communicate. So Instagram and also a couple other ones are separate. And then we utilize this program. So we broadcast to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Oh Lord, Kanoa gonna start with his craziness. He said, wait, who is this, Doc? Chantel Taylor, good evening. She was my guest recently. I was actually on Chantel's podcast
oh,
this
nice.
weekend. Yeah, just kind of popped up, and that worked out. So she's the creator and owner, founder of the Legacy magazine, Mississippi. So we want to welcome her as well. Now I got Sashette. We've got my buddy here, Kanoa. Kanoa is always going to keep us laughing, and I know exactly what he means by this. But he's saying, "Who is this, Doc?" Yeah, it's a crazy guy. But Kanoa, man, it's good to see you, big brother. We do an event every Thursday. So shit, it's called Cigar Thursdays down at Trio, and so he's the host of this event, and we have a really great time every Thursday. Just good, clean, grown folks fun, having a couple of drinks and amazing food specials, all that. So he's one of those guys who's one of the people to know in the town here in Jackson, Mississippi.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to you. Um, all right. Well, let's get right into it. We have, and I don't know if my buddy Tim, he called me out. Tim, I don't know if you're on there, man. Say something. I don't know if he was trying to get on because he's a finance guy. He's a CEO and founder of TCL Tax Solutions, and he's got about 4 offices here. And he's been doing it, I think he told me, 22 years. So amazing guy, tax finance analyst, investor, tax preparer to the stars, all that good stuff.
That's good.
All right. So let's get right into it. Tell us all about Power Moves Global. You said when you came here, you did your master's and then, you eventually started the company. What made you name it that, and what gave you the, inspiration to even start it in the first place?
Okay, well, it's a funny story. There are two separate things. If I'm talking about how I named it, it was like, I think it was after I finished my master's and I got my job. So I felt like I was at, when you reach to the next stage in your life and you're like, okay, this is what I dreamed of. This is what I wanted for myself. And I just remember sitting down in the university hall
Hmm.
and, just kind of thinking about me being here by myself, like taking a leap of faith, coming to the US by myself and wanting to like pursue my dreams, of doing my master's, of doing a business and everything. And just realizing that I was by myself. I was on my own. That I had no family, I had nobody, and like pushing me or motivating me around me, and it made me feel a little bit sad, and I was just lonely. I felt sad and I was just sitting down, and I just remembered this voice coming to me and just letting me know that, hey, everything is okay. Like, I felt like I wasn't I was like, is this the end of my road? Like I'm here now. I'm like in BG. I have no family, and something came to me and it was like, you need to remember who you are. You went through all of this
Mm-hmm.
struggle. You went through all the struggles by yourself. You went through late nights. You worked so much. You had multiple jobs. Like, all of this is a power move.
That's
You know,
right.
and it just kept resonating. That word that came in my head just started resonating. And I just remembered before I finished my master's, I started transitioning because, with me, I there was a lot that I had to change about myself in order
Mm-hmm.
for me to reach to the next stage in my life. As it relates to just how I perceive things, my discipline, everything.
Right.
And you, because I reached to that stage in my life, I used to find myself like praying at nights and asking God, what is it that He wants from me?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Why did He bring me here? Because my whole entire life changed, you know, and it, I saw a lot of things, and God showed me what my purpose was and what from my visions. And I mean, that looks different to everybody. Everybody has their own quiet time. But, he put certain things, put me through certain things to reach where I am. And putting all of this together, I realized that this was my purpose. This was where what I was supposed to be. What I was supposed to, what I was called for, I should say.
Mm.
And
Okay.
you know, going back, reiterating to all what I said in that room, putting everything together. I know the whole thing can be a little bit, but that is exactly why I called it Power Moves, because when I look back at everything I went through, it was a power move and it changed my whole identity. I had to change my whole identity to be where I was. And my purpose is to help other people to reach that stage of their life. Because, and that's my whole focus, is in finance. And everything kind of just made sense to me. I'm a good presenter, good communicator. I've studied finance. I had to change my life. I went through everything by myself. I didn't have anyone to bring me to my next stage in life.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what created this framework that I call financial identity. And Power Moves Global was, built because of all of that and what I went through. So this was a personal experience before it actually became a theory.
Wow.
I know the story sounds a little bit jumbled, because I could sit down here and tell you like a whole conversation about it, so just to make it short and snappy, I had to say what I had to say. However, that's what created Power Moves Global. And Power Moves Global focuses on financial identity.
Mhm.
So if you're going to ask me what is financial identity,
That's my next question. That is my next question.
so, financial identity is really the story or belief that we carry about money, how we actually perceive money. And this is through our experiences, it's through our environment, through the trauma that we went through, our upbringing. So all of this kind of shape us and how we earn, how we spend money, how we tolerate stress, and how we actually self-sabotage or do we actually build stability.
Mm.
So that is what my framework focuses on as it relates to financial identity.
Um, that's really interesting. Yeah, because that, like I said, that was my next question. And we looked at some of the prepared things and some talking points, and I knew we were going to cover that, but that's I've never heard it like that. Financial identity. So I want to go back real quick because there was something that you mentioned that really kind of perked my ears, and you said, "Hey, my faith." And you said that even though you didn't know what was going on, you were being tested. You said that, hey, I knew that this is what God wanted me to do or wanted me to be. And the good thing about being here on Telehealth Tuesday, because although at one point now we're going to be nationally syndicated, I claim that. But right now, while we don't have investors, we don't have people that we're beholden to and share owners and all that stuff. So we can basically say what we want. And although even if we get to that point, when we get to that point, nobody's ever going to make us dumb it down either, there, because we know from where comes our help. And I know that it sounds like you're a person of faith, and I know that for all of us, this has been to definitely even me. And I'm sure people look at you and say, hey, she's got it going on. She's come here. She's got her education. She's well spoken and all that good stuff. And they probably think you got it all together, before you, especially when you started your company. And I know a lot of people look at us, doctors and things like that, and say, man, you got it together. But we have gone through, even myself, even up until this very day, today, when I got certain news that some things lined up for me. But it was like, man, what is going on? God, why are you putting all this on me? And so that just really resonated to me when you said, my faith. So I just wanted to ask if you want to expound on that before we go to the next question about your faith and how important you feel it is to have some higher power or something to believe in that helps you to keep going.
Well, definitely, sure. Well, back in my past, I was a little bit younger, and I would have said I was more lost back then. And lost in the sense where there's certain times a lot of people will notice their faith when something goes wrong. And when everything is good, it's like we kind of shift it to the side because we kind of get, caught up in the world, materialistic stuff and everything. So, being younger back in Jamaica, I was well off. I was in more of a rich family. I was in a 7-year relationship. Everything was great. However, seemed great, I should say, the luxury part of it. But I was actually dying inside, and when I mean dying inside, I mean my my whole capability, the person I am supposed to be was not being blossomed.
Mm-hmm.
It was being, what I should say, it was being, I don't want to use caged because it was more like in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, faith is very important because that's what brought me here, and that's what made me know my strength and what I was capable of. So um, for persons or for women, a lot of times they will probably think, staying in a relationship and the man being the breadwinner and just having that easy life. Or I don't necessarily want to say easy because I was doing my undergrad degree while I was in a relationship.
Okay.
But sometimes we stay in relationship and we attach ourselves to friendship. We attach ourselves to certain things in life that
Yeah.
are not good for us, or is not. It doesn't bring us closer to who we are supposed to be or who God called us to be. Because
Mm.
everybody in life has a purpose. So it's just for you to seek that purpose and seek what you are actually called to be. And
Mhm.
I can tell you this: my life before, I had everything and I barely had to do anything for it. And no, I have to work hard, but I am at the most peace I could ever be in life. I'm happy every day. I wake up, I pray, I remember God. I remember everything that He has blessed me with. So
Yeah.
there's a complete difference when you push away all the things that are like cause you trauma, cause you pain, things that just doesn't help healing you, and it makes you a wholesome individual, and you're at peace. I
Mhm.
always tell people that the greatest thing to protect is your mind and your soul.
Mm.
you know um if you can't protect that, then you have nothing. So for me, that transition was just, I can't tell you what God has done for my life in terms of how happy I feel. And, because of what he brought me through and all the tribulations and trials I went through, just even coming to do my master's, it's almost as if he just told me that, hey, this is the direction you're supposed to go in. All you need to do is let me lead you.
Mm.
And I listen. Till this day I listen, and he has never steered me wrong. Before, it was always worldly and stuff. It's always, this person promises me this, or this person wants me to do this, but it never brings me like happiness. Like, it's only momentary happiness. So I
Wow.
always tell people, there is no happiness you can feel like the one that God has for you. And you can only do that when you follow your purpose and you actually listen to him. Because you're gonna realize that there's nothing else that matters apart from that. So that's how I feel today as it relates to my faith.
Look, I really appreciate you sharing that. And hey, look, for the viewers and listeners that are here, I know sometimes and we can go off on some tangents, and I don't want y'all to think that we're trying to make it a religious thing. But like I say, we just got to give some time. We got to give it. You know what I say? Give it up for Jesus. How about that? Okay. So sometimes we just got to stop for a moment and just recognize again, from the person from where our help comes from. And I saw my frat brother there from the Sigma Sigma Lambda Clinton chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, 1906, Cordell Fields, pastor of Pine Grove Missionary Baptist Church. So I don't know if you're still on there, my brother. We appreciate you joining. I just thought about that, and then he ended up logging on. So we want to let you all know that this is. Oh, there we go. He said, "Amen. To God be the glory." So this is I want everybody to know that this is just not a thing for talking heads. This is a program where, look, yes, we do have planned talking points and questions, but look, we are here live. We're here for you. I have Miss Sashette McPherson here. All right here from Frozen, Ohio, by way of Kingston, Jamaica. Come on, somebody. And so she's here to tell us all about financial identity. Okay, we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about high earners and being financially stuck and anxious and emotional roots of financial burnout. We're going to get to all that. That's it, my yeah, he put 06. So we want to get to all that, okay? But want to let you know that we are live. So if there's anything that you want to know, hey, feel free to raise a hand, stop us, or put your question, comment, concern right in the chat. We'll make sure to recognize you. All right. So, excuse me. That brings us to the next point. Why is it that you feel that high earners can still feel financially? And look, before I get to that, the reason why I've asked the question, you look at all these celebrities, all these people that are millionaires and billionaires out there, right? But they're still feeling anxious. They're still sometimes committing suicide, unfortunately, having mental health issues. So the question, so just letting you know, making it plain that this definitely is a thing. This happens. And especially during the cold months, during the holidays where people are down more than ever. They're thinking about loved ones that are no longer here, family, friends. And so the question is why high earners can still feel financially stuck or anxious despite their high income.
Okay. Well, that question is simple because, having more income does not heal your identity,
Boom.
basically.
But
Yeah,
let's say that again for the people in the back one more time, please.
because making more income does not heal your identity. So basically, if you grew up in a environment that was, you experience instability or chaos or lack of safety, you know, earning more can actually make you more anxious. So without healing these patterns, people will still repeat the same behaviors. And these behaviors will look like overspending,
Mm.
avoidance, or self sabotaging at a higher level of income. For example, I have a story that I could share myself, because I have created this framework, lived by my personal experiences and my changes, but also by other capable, intelligent people that I have actually seen make these same mistakes, repeating the same patterns. So I had this friend that was in the master's program, financial economics is me. And he came from Ghana. And what happened was when he came, he was doing his master's and he was working multiple jobs,
Hmm.
but to a point where he was overworking himself. And when I spoke to him, I was like, hey, you get like literally no sleep. I will tell you this person will work at a caregiving job. He will do his master's full time, which is like 4 courses. Then he will work at the factory after that. Then in any free time he gets, he will do Uber.
Mm.
That's like that, and this is like 8 hour shift at his
Hmm.
work, so like plus school, and then plus he does like graduate assistant work.
Wow.
It was just crazy. And like sometimes he would come to the class and his eyes would look so red, and I would be like, hey, are you okay? Like, how are you actually physically alive right now? Like, and he will tell me, he's like, Sash, listen, I have I just, I got this opportunity to come to America, and I just have to meet the best of it. Back in Ghana, we don't have anything. I didn't have these things. Like, um my dad, my dad is sick, my mom is like this, and I had to help them with money and stuff like that. So we don't have none of these home. So I'm here to just really work and make money. No, this person, this same person that was working all of this jobs, somebody's okay. I was just looking at the comment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this same person that was working multiple jobs. What happened one day was when he finished his masters, he was at a crossroad where he needed a job to continue his OPT because he was on STEM
Hmm.
and he wasn't getting any jobs at the time. So what happened is it ran him into a fear, and he started, becoming very desperate, all because of this. And what happened is this he started looking for any job that he can get. Very confused, lack of clarity, started looking for any job that he can get, and he basically ended up in a scheme, and they took $10,000 from him just because he was in this fear. So my thing is, this is one of an example that, unhealthy, identity looks like, when you overwork due to fear because of
Hmm.
scarcity. And what this does is it affects your brain. It affects your brain because it puts your nervous system into survival mode. When your brain is into survival mode, you have no clarity over your decisions. You can't build stability. You can't build wealth if you are constantly in survival mode. So that's what my framework focuses on. It focuses on persons changing, rebuilding that identity so they get out of scarcity mode and into strategy mode, into a more stable mode, and having clarity around their life and how they're supposed to build it.
So and that, that brings me to my next question: the emotional roots of financial burnout and overworking. So you were talking this young man, um, who was driving for Uber, who was coming to the master's class, who was doing all these different things. He's just getting burnt out and not getting anywhere. But the emotional roots, because I know one of the points that we wanted to discuss was how financial issues and money truly affects your mental health. So kind of segue into that. And this is obviously we're tying this all into our overall health. With me, of course, I'm a primary care doctor, and so people will say, "Man, doc, how does this tie in? We know that she's a finance person. How does this tie in?" Well, you just heard it first. She had this friend of hers, a colleague, who was getting burned out. This is leading to this man's depression, and he lost $10,000. Some people don't recover. Some people commit suicide. So my question would be that how does all this affect people's mental health overall, and what can they do to overcome this?
Well, I will start by answering your first question. You know that financial stress is one of the most chronic form of stress that humans like us experience. And this activates anxiety, shame, hypervigilance,
Mhm.
and burnout. And like I always say, like if a person is constantly in an unsafe financial position, that activates their nervous system to, as I said, be in survival mode, and that can affect their sleep, their relationship, their work performance, and even their physical health.
Mhm.
So these are things that can affect their mental health. You get me, as it relates to um, um, not having a healthy identity, financial identity. And I think your next question was, how does a person, um,
Yeah.
sorry?
How do they overcome these things?
Well, if we're talking about how you overcome it, the first step, and this is what Power Move focuses on. I created a framework that actually helps people, um, you know, move from a place of survival to strategy building. But I would tell people that the first step is awareness, being aware of these emotional triggers, and because a lot of people don't understand that this actually affects money as much as they might not think that this has to be related to money, but it really does, So, the second thing I would tell people is understanding where these beliefs come from. Where did I learn these beliefs? So that is one, and I will tell people that you have to then build systems that can create safety and predictability, and also you have to develop self trust, so this is something that I will tell people, that this is how you go about the first step of actually healing, you know um, your identity.
Hmm. Um, we want to say I see my mother has joined. It would be a big shout out to my mother. Lily James is in the building. Um, and Sashette, she um, from that generation, I'm sure that a lot of people, there were people that owned their own home and different things, but she was able to pay off her house a few years ago. And so I think she has very little to no debt. So sometimes people never accomplish that in the lifestyle. So at her age, I just wanted to recognize her for still standing strong and being steadfast and being able to get out of any kind of just like mortgage debt, that plagues a lot of people. So that's big shout out, big ups for that. Um, so we talked about the tie into mental health. Now, how do we rebuild that trust that you spoke of with money after these instabilities or stresses? How do you rebuild? I'm sure that that's something that you teach in the Power Moves Global courses. But maybe if you can just give us a little tidbit and wet the whistle a little bit and tell us what people can expect if they come to check out your channel or check out your podcast and your network.
Okay, well, sorry, you were mentioning how, sorry, I didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Rebuilding trust. That was one of the things we rebuilding trust with money after instability or stress. That
Okay.
was how do we what's like how do we do that?
Well, as I mentioned that, I well, as I mentioned before, in terms of the first step of becoming stable with your money is awareness. It is around awareness, because my framework, I have four different pillars to my framework, to how persons are supposed to go about doing that. And the first step is awareness,
Okay.
and you have to be aware of all these emotional triggers the patterns you have learned, your cultural norms, because all of that made your identity, and identity drives behavior. Behavior now drives your consumer patterns, and those consumer patterns now becomes your outcomes, and your outcome is just how your life looks, how your savings, your growth, your opportunities, all of those things. That's how it looks like. So that's the first step. As I would tell people, it's all about your awareness of it, and basically just tracking these behaviors, and then we could go to detachment. You have to take yourself away from these things, and how we go about that is that's what power moves offer. There's a whole framework for it, how people can detach themselves for this. And then we have the third step, which is reconstruction, building the new identity now. And you're building the new identity to become more stable in your life, to become more financially financially free, to make better decisions, not to have these patterns holding you back. And the last step that I focus on is integration. That's where I come up with actual automation, actual systems,
Mm-hmm.
building the systems that can actually help people move from um, with their new identity. And this is something that they come up now with their new habits, their new discipline, everything. Now you use this fourth step, um, and automation, everything that is in that step. And then, that's how you go about building your wealth. So that's basically the four steps that is involved into building your new financial identity.
Okay, and then you said that because I know Power Moves Global, your company, is it's not this really this also I found fascinating. You said this is not a traditional budgeting company. This is not just some surface level motivation. And you stated that it combines the behavioral finance, identity based financial strategy, practical systems for money management, and strategic thinking around power, boundaries, and self trust. So, do you feel like, let's say, if somebody comes to you, right? They say, "I want to go. I want to sign up for Power Moves Global. I want to know more about this and become part of your network." What would you say? What would you say if you could choose really like one thing that sticks out to you that would maybe differentiate you from Merrill Lynch, or you know what I mean? Some of these just kind of and look, nothing against Merrill Lynch because I've had a buddy of mine who's a major representative for them. So nothing against them, but we know that they're one of the largest financial investment corporations in the world. So if somebody says, "Well, I don't want that," or maybe cookie cutter or whatever you want to say, I want to check. I want to go to Power Moves Global. Is there something in your mind that the first thing that comes to mind that differentiates you from the Merrill Lynches out there?
Yes, because so this is what's going to be a part of my speech as well. So before I go into it, um, persons don't, America, we know the financial part of, well, we know the knowledge,
Hmm.
of finance everywhere. You can get it on Chat GBT, everything like that. A lot of people still have the knowledge, but they still repeat the same patterns. And why is that? Because the problem is that we don't need more knowledge. The problem is not knowledge, it's financial identity. So financial identity is a huge part that has to do with money, because it's how a person perceive their self with it. If I identify myself as somebody who is, um, a reactive person, what's going to happen is every single time I experience something traumatic,
Hmm.
I am going to react. And me reacting is going to make me unstable now from building my actual wealth. So let me give you an example. I make, let's just say, $5,000 a month time.
Hmm.
And I say to myself, all right, every month I'm going to save $2,000. All right. I started saving. And then somebody did me something, or I had a traumatic experience, or I just broke up with my boyfriend, or a family member cursed me out or something. And I start going into reactive mode now. What's going to happen is I'm going to want to go to that party to spend. I'm going to want to, like, I'm going to book that trip because guess what? I'm just so stressed out. I'm
Right.
gonna, I'm going to spend on, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to buy that Louis V bag because no, I'm in a, you know, I'm going through a traumatic experience, so because of this, it's not sustainable, and that's why I said financial identity is a big part of your wealth building, because
Mhm.
you can have the knowledge, but your identity is unhealed, and because your identity is unhealed, you're going to still make the same mistakes. You're going to have the same patterns that you have developed or you didn't detached from you.
Mhm.
And this is something that it's no matter how much money you make, it's still going to be there because you never address the underlying issue. So if
Mhm.
you're asking me what is different from, what my business and why my company is different from other persons, it's because it addresses both the psychological and strategic side of financial growth.
Ah, okay, okay. So you've got the psychological component to
Yes.
it. Excellent, excellent. Um, well, let's see. I think now look, I want to, because I know, man, it's crazy how quickly time flies. We got like about 15 more minutes. Now, look, Sashette, I know we talked about it, and you said, just go ahead and ask it, because there's a burning question I got for you. You already know what it is. I don't know if Kanoa's, he's probably off, Kanoa's all over the place. But if you're on here, brother, this is going to be one for you. We know that, because that's the way I found out about you. The internet, you blew up the internet, went viral, as they say. It was all over Instagram. This young lady who's there, poised, confident, in nice outfit, and looked like you were there. We thought that you were there to teach, or maybe substitute teach, and I don't know what's going on. They showed kids and parents walking by, and everybody was throwing all these angles of you with your hair flowing and the suit and all that, and they were saying, "Who is this woman?" And people started all this. Well, who is this woman? Who does she think she is? Why does she come dressed like that? People were defending you. Said, well, she can't help it. She looks like that. And it just went viral. And so then when I clicked on your name and everything, and it was showing Power Moves Global, and like, man, like all this amazing substantive, things about you, like what the internet wasn't even talking about. So anyway, my question is, did you expect all of that notoriety to come from just you? You said you were setting up for your podcast. Did you expect this kind of stuff? Did you, tell us about
No, I actually did not expect it. I mean, it was just the first day of me posting, and I was setting up my podcast. And, as I said, I'm a financial analyst. And um, yeah, I was just in the media room setting up my podcast. And funny enough, like, I didn't even want to take that picture. It was actually a friend that was helping me out at first, was like, hey, let me take a picture of you setting up, like,
it? Yeah.
let's take some candid pictures. And then he just took that picture of me, and he was like, I think you should post this because like it kind of let people know that you are, in the field of setting up, and it gives them that kind of, like, oh, she's actually about her business doing her thing. And
Hmm.
then it was just like, as I posted it, it was like minutes after I just start seeing this, this post just started circulating, and oh my goodness, I just thought it would have stopped. It went on and on and on, and it's as we speak, it's still going on.
Man, I'm telling you, it is. I mean, it's crazy. And like honestly, when I see people when folks go viral, and you see these photos, there's so many filters and Photoshop and all over the place. So I didn't even know if it was AI when they reached out to you
Hey,
and
some of
responding. I said, "Is this the
some of the
representative?"
some of the photos that be circulating is AI though, because like
Mhm.
persons get, like, I see some of the pictures and persons get some angle that I never posted in my life.
Oh
And
my.
I'm just like, oh my goodness, they created a whole like different me from the side, like from the back, from the front. It's crazy. But
That is
hey,
insane.
that's the internet for you.
Yeah, but I guess so. Has that translated into more notoriety for you, more customers, and more?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, like going viral for something doesn't necessarily mean that people are, there for the actual thing. You
Mhm.
know. So yes, I wouldn't say challenging, but it's been. I still feel like I'm starting up. Because if I was posting, like regular lifestyle pictures of myself and maybe more aesthetic type of pictures, I would be getting all the
Mhm.
yeah, my followers will keep going up, everything, but that is not my purpose and that's not what I'm there for. And the hardest thing for a human being to do is sometimes we want to seek validation from outside, or we want to listen to what other people want us to be doing in life. You get me? And you getting all of that attention and popularity would probably kind of push you off of your trajectory.
Mhm.
And I just decided that, hey, no, I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between trying to build an image and trying
Mhm.
to build an impact. And I'm here to build the
Mm.
impact, not the image. So,
I
um,
like that, man. I like that.
yeah. So, as it relates to, social media, yes, people are there to see me, and they want to see aesthetics. They want to see pictures. But that's not my focus. As I said, the message is more my focus right now. And I've reached to a point where you know, I've just changed so much and I'm just following God and my purpose. And I know that He has great things for me. And I realized how seemingly things are for me when I'm just doing the right thing. Sometimes
Mm.
people hurt you because we still live in this world. People are either bad or good. I say that because sometimes people do this and people do that. They do good. So it's like you can't really hold your faith in other people, but I
Yeah.
can hold my faith in God. He's not going to hurt me. He's only going to bring me into the right direction. So, as I said, for me, it's just about having that impact and to follow him because I know that he has great things in store for my life.
Amen. Amen. That's man, that's awesome. And you know what? I feel like I can piggyback on that a little bit because even with what we're doing here in Jackson, Mississippi, with Good Faith Wellness, which is the clinic that I helped to start with two other phenomenal providers, Dr. Torrance Green and Dr. Sophronia Stidwell. She's a chiropractor. And sometimes you look at it like, for the first year or so, man, business is real slow and people not coming in. Same thing with the podcast. Like I said, we don't make any money on it directly. And so you're looking at it like, man, am I truly making an impact, or is this what God wants from me? And sometimes it's easy to get discouraged. And thankfully, along the way, we've had some good people that have come in and said, hey, just kind of stay the course, keep on doing what you're doing. So that's what you said resonated about impact versus image, because the image of other providers and everything, no shade to anybody here, let me put that out there, okay? But there's other people here and in the medical field who are completely all over the stuff, all over the internet, TV, viral, all that good stuff. And it may not be having as much of an impact, but they have a tremendous image. But it's so easy to get caught up on that because you're like, well, dang, I'm here doing what I feel like the good Lord has blessed me to do. This is my gift. And I know it is because of the lives that we see that are truly impacted and ultimately improved by the gift that He has given us. But it doesn't translate sometimes to the money or
Mm.
the notoriety or the image, So anyway, so that resonated with me. If anybody has any other question or comment concerns, go ahead and ask them now because I know the time is drawing near. We look, how's the weather up there? You are in what part of Ohio?
Whew. I'm actually in Bowling Green right now, and it
Bowling Green.
is cold. It is cold. It is cold. Like everything is freezing.
Bowling Green, yeah, well, there's been a lot of devastation and destruction here in Mississippi, especially up north and places, Grenada, Oxford, other Rolling Fork, all kind of places, South Haven. So just want to keep everybody within the country under our prayers and hope that their families have not been devastated by this or destroyed, and that for the people that are in the hospital or have been affected by this, we just hope and pray that everybody will make it through this, um, so that they can live to see another day, and that they will possibly be able to come to Power Moves Global and get their life in order, because we all need that. I know I'm gonna need to see some of your stuff, and maybe you can send me some more information, because I know that that's important, and that is needed, man. That is so needed in our community. Um, I would love to give you the floor to tell everybody once again, for the people that might have joined later at the end, who you are, where you're located, what your company name is, how you can be reached, and if you're taking on new clients, just take it away.
Yeah, so my name is Sashette McPherson, and I'm currently in Ohio, Bowling Green. So my company's name is Power Moves Global, and as I mentioned, that we focus on helping people build their identity, and bringing persons from a place of survival to strategy. We also focus on different things as it relates to small business. We have a lot of services for small business, and we also have the reset program coming very soon, and the reset program is going to actually help you with, it's going to be like a full it's a 8 module course, and it helps you with your financial identity and just gear you up for wealth. It has all information you need about death, how to save your money, how to invest. It gives you everything as it
Mm,
relates to investment, everything you need. Just it's like a starter packet for a person that is wanting to build their wealth. And I made the information very simple to understand, no like big finance terms that anybody's going to be like, what is she talking about? We
mhm,
also have in our reset program, we give persons a dashboard where you can use this for your expenses, and you can actually see your freedom capital. Um, and you can just calculate how much your savings is going to be from your income that you make. And it's just an amazing thing. You would have to basically have you know have the package to see how impactful it will be for your life. And there will be more products coming soon. Power Moves Global, we're actually building an app right now, and this app is to help persons with their financial identity.
mhm.
So that will be available this year as well.
Right.
um,
Excellent.
yeah, so there's just so much things coming. We have products that are coming as well, so it will be amazing. We also offer media, where we help persons, your daily motivation, and just hearing how other people reach to their success as well, and areas that you may be lacking in. So yeah, that's it's just phenomenal. We have a lot in store for everybody. You guys can reach me at powermovesglobal.com. That's my website, and we're also on Instagram, at Power Moves Global. So just feel free to follow. It's be there for the journey. It's going to be an amazing journey to just see us grow. And yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm glad to be on this live as well. It was a great live, and I really appreciate it, Michael, for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you for coming. And by the way, how long have you had the company? How long has it been in existence?
Just few months. I started my company in
Okay.
September, and we
Okay.
really haven't. We are still building the whole foundation. You know, um, the foundation, I always tell people that it's the hardest thing to build. I know because I went through it. I literally had a lot of overwhelming stress coming from December to January, where I had to take a break myself. You know, I was overwhelmed. There was contracts coming in, and I had to be doing a lot. Plus, I have my job. You know, so it's just a lot of things that I went through as well. However, the grind doesn't stop, and you know, you just have to have faith. And I always tell people, there's always a season for everything. So when you need to focus on your health, focus on your health. When you need to go back to that business, you go back to that business. And yeah, this is just the start. We just started, and I'm still trying to perfect it. There's just so many things that I realize, you know, business comes with a lot of mistakes and you have to
Yeah.
re-strategize, and you're like, okay, this didn't work, so this is going to work, and that's how we're supposed to do it. So, you know, that's business, and that's how you're going to grow. Every failure becomes, you know, where you push yourself to a higher point, because now you know what you need to do, you know. So that's how it is. We're just redefining stuff and, you know, making the vision more clearer,
That's
you know.
right.
So that's what we're basically focusing on right now. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got to, if you don't mind, let's take this last question here from my wonderful mother right here at 8:03. But that's okay, Mom, you know, because it looks like it's a good one. Can you see that? So, you can see it on there. What are, what are some things that people can do when they have that urge to go out and splurge, that is to buy something that they had planned to buy, but because they are depressed or distressed, they want to go out and do something special for themselves. What are some things that people can do to resist that urge?
well,
Good question.
well, to be honest, that's what my framework actually focuses on. Um, However, one thing I could just say to Lily is that you have to ask yourself why first, you know, because the question why is very important. You know, I've done a lot of research in a lot of different countries to, you know, as it relates to Japan, China, you know, and even Germany. And that's one of the things that I was actually tackling in America, to why the savings rate is so low over here. And, you know, in China, where they have saving rates of 30%, they
Mm,
actually journalize why they spend and why they need things. So, you know, this is just a way of them kind of, um, you know, trying to understand the deeper meaning to why they attach their their spending habits to those type of you know, like those type of things, you know. So for example, like, I know, like, Black community, we love jewelry and we love looking good, we love, you know, but other persons are not like that. So
right.
yeah, so that's one of the things that yeah, I would say to her, is to ask yourself, why do I need this, you know. That's a big thing, you know. But my framework goes deeper into all of this, you know, and understanding why you make certain you know, pattern, why do you have certain patterns you have. And to remember this too is that everyone is different. So if I basically sit here and try to, like, scan a person, I would have to understand what they went through,
Hmm.
you know, because everybody's different. A person might spend because whatever trauma they had, you know, or they were in more of, they had like a scarcity type of mindset back then. So the moment they get money, they want to spend because they didn't have it when they were growing up, you know. Or a next person may come from a low trust environment where
Hmm.
they were experiencing a whole lot of trauma, and they didn't feel safe. So because they came from a low trust environment, the moment they get money, they spend it like that. They can't keep this money. So that's the thing. It's understanding these patterns and where they came from, and, you know, like, and you just understanding who you are in that identity as a person. So it goes under something that I call a financial audit. So that's what we kind of focus on Power Moves Global. I offer a service called Financial Audit, where it's just like a session where me and these persons go through their past trauma. We go through every single thing that was attached to their identity so they can understand their self. They can understand why they did things in the first place. So if I'm just answering the question upfront, it is deeper than that. It is deeper than just answering it because you need to understand who that person is and why do they make those choices and what they actually experience as a child.
Hmm.
And when you understand that, no, you can create a system that can be specifically for that person.
Hmm. That's excellent. Excellent question, and even better answer. I think that definitely answered the question. And um, like you said, just it's I guess that's not one of those just kind of simple 3 or 4 word answers there. So getting down to the true DNA, if you will, in this person, and what is why did we do certain things, and like you said, that oftentimes needs we need to go back. We need to go
Mhm.
back to childhood. So that's excellent. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for another amazing episode of Telehealth Tuesday. I'd love to give it up a round of applause for our distinguished guest, Miss Sashette McPherson. One more time. We are truly, we got even more for audience participation. Chantel Taylor said, wow, that helped me, and thank you. And again, big shout out to the Legacy Magazine, Mississippi. Chantel Taylor's doing amazing things right here in Jackson, and she featured yours truly about a week or so ago after I interviewed Shell's Kitchen. So, Sashette, if you just ever have some extra time on your hands and you want to look for some amazing recipes or you want to order, I think she ships, I'm not sure, but Shell's Kitchen, and it's on my page, and she's one of my followers and vice versa. Shell's Kitchen is amazing. Chantel Taylor, same thing. Legacy Magazine. Maybe you guys all be part of a network. We're gonna do that one day. Let's put a network together of people like that, so we can just have one place where we can all go in the minority community. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. And so we'll put that as an action item. We'll put that together. So you guys get together. And again, thank you so much. Look, I usually I know we've gone over time and we got some stuff to do in the morning. I know you're busy. So look, let's catch up maybe later this week and let's put that together and see if we can get you back on here again. And, I'd love to see what you have going on. If there's anything we can do to help out or be a part of your network, we'd love to do that as well.
No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's great to meet your mom, Lily, right?
You got it.
Yeah, it's good to have her on. I love the fact that she's supporting you. That's all a son need.
I appreciate you. Well,
Yeah.
look, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for supporting us. Next week, we've got Mr. JT Thomas, philanthropist, coach. He's a business owner of Two Cigar. They're also in Jackson, Mississippi. He's become a friend and colleague of mine. He's a great guy. He's doing big things here. He's got, I think, a Medicaid transportation company, all that good stuff. But we'll talk about that next week. We're going higher and higher. And at some point, we'll have Pastor Danye Hargrove on here again. He unfortunately was not able to bring us into the new year like we did 1 year ago. But this is episode, I believe, 77. So 77 Tuesdays. You know what? Last thing, Sashette, I'm going to just say this, because we got to give it up for our own platform here. Telehealth Tuesday, 77 episodes. So this has been such a blessing. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to have Sashette back again, even if she doesn't know it or hasn't agreed to it. But she's going to be back again. All right. So if you have anybody, any interesting story, testimony, or situation you want to see, let us know. You can DM us or send us an email. God willing, we'll see you always on a Tuesday. Good Faith Wellness Center. Okay. Last thing, Good Faith Wellness Center. If you don't have a primary doctor, well, you got one now. If you don't have insurance, now again, this is not insurance now, but we do have plans. If you come to see me and person, particularly me, $99 a month, unlimited visits. Sashette, I'm sure your phone bill costs more than that up there in Ohio. Okay. So nobody has an excuse. Nobody has an excuse. Okay. Nobody. And there's three things nobody should die from. I always say that's prostate cancer, that's breast cancer, and colon cancer. Nobody should die from that. Make sure to get screened. Even if you're not at Good Faith Wellness Center, make sure to get screened. See your primary care doctor. Okay. So again, we'll see you next Tuesday, always 7 o'clock. This is the place where we treat and discuss mind, body, and soul. Sashette, we'll see you. I'll be in touch with you this week. And remember, true wealth begins with good health. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, true wealth begins with good health.